Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my new video. Today's video I'm going to be talking about India again and why it's sending 4 warships to the South China Sea, obviously as a message to China. As you can see, a lot of these Indian articles are saying stern message to China, Indian warships head to South China Sea. So it's obviously a message to China. Couple of days ago there was very good optimism regarding the border clashes, and they had a 9-hour talks between China and India. And you can see from here, both sides noted that this round of meeting was constructive with further enhanced mutual understanding, the press release said. So you can see it was very constructive, the meeting. Both sides were pretty happy with the way it was going, China and India. Then one day later, this happens. 4 ships, including a guiding missile destroyer and a missile frigate, will be deployed for a 2-month period in Southeast Asia, the South China Sea and the Western Pacific, the Navy said in a statement. The Indian ships will take part in annual joint war drills with countries part of the Quad. So you can see it's a stern message to China, and a lot of Indian articles are saying this. So I'm just wondering, why are they doing this? I mean, India has got huge economical issues and internal issues, which I'm going to discuss a bit more. So before I start, guys, I want to kind of ask you to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Check your subscriptions are still there. Check YouTube hasn't deleted you. Also, if you can help with sharing, commenting, liking, whatever you can to help with algorithm. And those who really want to support the channel, really want to support my growth, consider joining my Patreon and also buying me a coffee. So without further ado, guys, let's get on with the show. So before I start, guys, I want to talk about my experiences with one particular Indian guy when I was at university. So at university, I was doing quite well, but I was lacking in some subjects. I wasn't doing well in few subjects. So there was one Indian guy who was always top of the class, and he was really clever. And he was always getting A stars in all of his work. So I asked him for some help, and eventually we became good friends. So he used to help me a lot in this particular subject. And my subject was civil engineering, so it was very technical. So he helped me a lot, and in return, I used to take him out, and I used to do a lot of clubbing back in the day, and I used to go out with a few friends and have a good nightlife and stuff. So one night we decided to take him out with us, and it started very well. And we had a few drinks. He had a few drinks, and he was really loosening up. And I thought, yes, probably the first time. He told me it's the first time he actually went out. Most of the time he's always at home studying and doing his work. So he was really happy. So we went to this club, and everyone started dancing. And as you know, sometimes in clubs, people meet the opposite sex and they like each other. Sometimes they dance in the dance floor. Sometimes they do a bit of grinding. So you just dance with the opposite sex, really. So a couple of my friends, myself, we were just having a good time. And there's one particular Indian girl in the dance floor, because it's majority white club, and one particular Indian girl in the dance floor. And he kind of went behind her and grabbed her from behind and started rubbing himself behind her. And obviously he was watching other people grinding other women, so he thought he would do the same thing. So I was watching him, and my friend started laughing, and I was thinking, what's going on here? And he wouldn't let go of the girl, and the girl was struggling to she was struggling to get him off. And the girl wasn't even enjoying herself. She couldn't even see what he looked like, but she couldn't realize from the arms he was an Indian guy. So she was trying her best to kind of get him off, and her friends were also trying to help her get him off, and they couldn't get him off. And he was behind her, grabbing her for his life, almost like if he lets go, he's going to die or something. So he was like grabbing hold on, he was really squeezing her tight. Eventually, eventually one of the girls called the bouncers, and at this point me and my friends were just laughing because it was a bit shocking. So we just at the back laughing. So we just didn't know what to really think or do, really, to be honest. And we had a few drinks and we thought it was just a laugh. We just thought it was really funny what he was doing. Unfortunately, it wasn't that funny because bouncer came and bouncer couldn't get him off this girl, and he kept trying to grind her, and one bouncer couldn't get him off. So the bouncer called his mates. So 3 bouncers came, and it took 3 guys to finally take him off this girl. And they took him around the back, beat him up a little, and kicked him out of the club. So we went out, and we were like, oh, bloody hell, mate, you can't do that to women. What are you doing? and I asked him, well, why did you do that? And the guy was like, oh, he works in the Bollywood movies. I was like, okay, you obviously don't know how to treat women, or don't really know how the real world works. So that's the kind of experience I've had, really, with the one Indian guy, a friend. I've not had many Indian guys because I went to mainly a white university, so there wasn't many Indian guys. There was only a few, 1 or 2. So that's my experience with him. Anyway, I digress. There is a reason I'm telling you this story, really, and I saw this article today in the Daily Mail, and I was quite disgusted by it. A 9-year-old girl, New Delhi girl, is gang raped, murdered, and set on fire while fetching water for her parents. And these are the kind of stories that come up regularly, and a lot of women, in India, they don't feel safe. There's a lot of raping that goes on in India. There's very much lawlessness, and this is what India calls human rights. They call themselves the biggest democracy in the world, yet crimes like this happen a lot in India. And this is just one article, but if you kind of Google Indian women being raped and killed in India, there's hundreds and hundreds of cases almost every week. Women do not feel safe in India, and you can see that the people that actually raped this girl were Hindu priests, and there's women obviously burning Modi's picture here. You can see they burned effigies of the Prime Minister. There's huge amounts of protests going on. So the people that actually raped this girl, one of them is supposed to be an Indian priest and his followers. So it just goes to show, the kind of lawlessness and the kind of people that exist in India, because you would think that the Hindu religion is very peaceful, it's a very peace-loving religion, but then when you get this Hindu priest doing stuff like this, it's unbelievable. And one of the followers basically said to the police that, this girl is from a low caste, so we just raped her and burned her, and we didn't think anyone would care because she's from such a low caste. That's what one of the followers had said, and it just shows the problems that India has in its society. And a lot of women do get raped in India. There's a huge campaign going on a few years ago about Indian women and Indian women that get raped. And I just don't think Indian women are respected in India the way you think. And it just goes back to my experience with my friend, the Indian friend, and how, if you respected women, he would, try and get to know a woman, try and get her permission to dance with her. Then if she gives him permission to dance with her, then if she gives him permission to touch her, then he can do it. Not like grab her from behind and not let go. That's kind of a sexual harassment. So you can see here, a Hindu priest and 3 accomplices have been accused of raping, killing, and forcibly cremating the 9-year-old girl. So that's terrible. And he's a Hindu priest, and I'm sure a lot of people trust him, and he has that trust. So it's a kind of shocking because, when I was growing up, I was under the understanding Hinduism as a very peaceful, peace-loving religion, not about, killing and murdering, raping, and all sorts of stuff. But, this and the caste system is a huge issue. There doesn't seem to be any respect for people with lower castes, and you can go around doing whatever you want to them, killing them, raping them, and stuff. And it's a huge issue in India. But that's not the only issue that India's having at the moment. As you can see, they're still suffering from coronavirus. 42,000 new cases as of yesterday, 533 deaths reported in 24 hours. So they haven't got rid of the second wave yet. This second wave is still going on, and it's still going on very strong. And the economy is really suffering at the moment. You can see India's economy continues to tumble amid COVID-19 pandemic, and there is a huge amount of issues. There's rising unemployment and job losses. There's also inflation that's going through the roof, and you can see the Royal Bank of India, it has to change its policy because currently the whole inflation seems to be going through the roof. And the problem with inflation, a lot of you who are not economists or or bankers or anything like that, the higher the inflation, the less you will grow as a country, because the costs of goods and raw materials and food and necessary things like oil rises, which means, every average human has got less money to spend on the economy, less money to spend, and businesses have less profit, things like that. So that means the economy will grow slower as the inflation rises. So inflation is a huge issue in terms of growth. And you can see a lot of articles here saying current high inflation in the Indian economy. But, they're having huge internal issues, India. And not only that, they're also having desertification in India. For the past 10 years or so, India is suffering from huge amount of desertification, and you can see the map here. So this report was released in June 2021, and you can see areas in India which are starting to be desertified, and this is because there is a drought going on, global warming, a lack of water, and also the way India's farming, also the growth in population. Population growth is a huge issue. India basically has a population 3 times the size of America, but only 1/3 the size of America. So there's huge amounts of issues happening, and the reason why there's huge desertification issues, you can see unusable land practices, removal of natural vegetation, clearing of forests and things like that, loss of soil moisture, mining is a huge issue, overgrazing. They are overgrazing. The pollution is an issue as well. Plus, as the population increases, more and more people would need land, more and more people would need water, and that's an issue. Seems like India's going through the same issue that China went through 50 years ago. And 50 years ago, China made policies in place to stop desertification and stop pollution and stop all of these issues. And India is starting to go through it right now. The other issues India is having is a water crisis. And you can see they're running out of water. India used to be one of the richest countries when it came to water, but unfortunately not anymore. You can see by 2030, Water Group estimates if it continue to consume water as per current rate, India will only have half the water it needs by 2030. So that's only like 9 years away. So this was released last year. 80% of India's freshwater is used in agriculture, and obviously agriculture is increasing as the population is increasing. Half of India's cultivated land is underwater intensive crops, so they're building a lot of all the poor people are doing a lot of water intensive crops, so that's taking a lot of water from the land. India uses at least twice the amount of water to grow 1 unit of food versus comparable countries. You can see India's farmers rely mainly on tube wells to extract groundwater for their crops. Conservative estimates suggest that India has over 30 million bore wells today. India draws 25% of the world's groundwater. 60% of India's districts have been declared critical on groundwater. India's depleting groundwater reserves has impact on our drinking water. Country's water crisis has a significant economic cost. It's saying it will lead to a 6% loss of the country's GDP. So you can see they're having huge amounts of issues with water, desertification, overpopulation, economy, COVID. And not only that, they seem to be very much anti-Chinese still. And I want to bring up this story how China's Olympic silver medalists, basically, the netizens were suspicious of an Indian referee favoritism. And basically, what happened was Zhao lost the gold to 19-year-old Hashimio Mito by falling 0.4 points short of its score. And some internet users suspected whether Indian referee Deepak Karbra, who once said on Twitter, someone should stop them, China, from a clean sweep. And it shows that maybe even Indian referees in the Olympics are showing favoritism towards other countries and against China. And it seems to be the case throughout India, with all the issues that India's having at the moment, all the problems that India has. People are still focused on countering China. But why? Why, guys? Seriously? Why would you send 4 warships to the South China Sea to send a strong message to China? What for? What is that going to prove? This seems to be happening exactly under a week from Blinken's visit to India. And I got a feeling it's got something to do with that. And India said, okay, we're going to do more with the Quad and, help the other Quad countries do joint military tasks. And it's all there to make America happy. But what about India's happiness? What about India's state of affairs? Seriously, you got better things to focus on than just focusing on China. Seriously, why? I've already made another video about this. I'm not going to repeat everything I've said, but I just wanted to raise these issues. So let me know what you guys think, and don't forget to like, subscribe, share, whatever you can to help support this channel. Let's get to 10k. We're very close at the moment. And if you really like the channel, if you really like what I do and really want to support me, then consider joining my Patreon, or you can buy me a coffee. As you know, channels like myself do not get monetized, so I am putting a lot of time and effort to making these videos to send the truth out there. So let's send the truth out there to as many people as we can, and if we can unbrainwash some people around the world, then my job is working. So anyway, guys, let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you in the next video. See you.